There's newer proof that AH should be jailed because she not only faked her evidence, but get this, that she shut down anyone from talking about it, aka she suppressed the actual evidence showing that she didn't have any at all. And what makes this even better is that she hid this move. That's right, she filed this under seal, knowing that if a jury or the public, they heard about this, that they would know there's something wrong, aka she's probably guilty. Yeah, you and I, we are going to talk about this and much, much more today. And I mean, really think about this. She shut down someone that compiled a 106-page report on her wrongdoing. I mean, imagine if the public would have seen that. This stuff is crazy, like I said. Oh man, fun times, huh? Fun times indeed. Alright, so hey there to all you fine folks on this fine day. By the way, I hope you are doing excellently. A few weeks ago, the judge in Virginia dropped an absolute bombshell. They had had enough of AH and her team. They decided they were going to unseal quite a few documents, and some of these documents, I mean, they are magical. Now, the bombshell response I want to look at today is a response to this. This is AH trying to shut down the expert for JD that was testifying about her so-called evidence. It's amazing, too. We had the mainstream media talk about all of these unsealed documents, right? They didn't talk about this at all. Why? Because it made their darling look bad. Yeah, says a lot, doesn't it? Now, I agree that if a jury of the public saw these efforts, it would have wrecked her hard, too. Why? Because she was trying to shut down opinions. Opinions the guy wasn't going to give anyway, but opinions on text messages. Remember, there were two hotly contested text messages that popped up in the court. Two that they said were from JD that looked like they were to JD. When you look at emails, remember some of the emails that they put in evidence, they were from AH to AH. So she was the entire chain of custody. Nobody was allowed to go in and say, are those things valid at all? And the same thing goes for photographs of property destruction. He wasn't allowed to give any opinion on that whatsoever. And remember, she misidentified at least one in the trial, or any opinions on photographs produced by third parties. And that was what her case hinged on in some instances. Now, the things that the expert wanted to testify to, and in fact put together a 106-page report detailing, they would have been much, much worse for AH. I mean, imagine jury and the public hearing about her altering pictures, how there was proof of that. You could see photographic proof, in fact. Yeah, that wouldn't have flown very well at all. I mean, listen to this. There is evidence, by the way, of what he's saying. So listen to all of it go through. The fact that the photographs identified as AH's trial exhibits do not have metadata reflecting they had been through a photo editing app, that's a red herring. So them saying, hey, look at this photograph, that's not altered, that doesn't matter at all. Simply put, the quote-unquote photographs submitted as AH's trial exhibits are not actual photos, but are instead quote-unquote screen grabs of photos. Basically just took a photo of the underlying photo or a picture of a picture for her trial exhibits. As such, the photos would not reflect having gone through a photo editing app. The underlying photo, however, which are identical in appearance to the trial exhibits, those would have been the originals, by the way, have gone through one of two photo editing programs. That is extremely telling. On the left of the example below of AH's trial exhibits 712 and 713, photos that are both admitted into evidence, which are just a quote-unquote screen grab of a photo on a Mac computer. Note the taskbar at the top, so you can tell these are photographs from a computer, because again, you can see the taskbar in the image. On the right is an excerpt from Brian Neumeister's report showing the same underlying photo that has been through the Photo 3 editing programs. So the ones they submitted, again, they took pictures of. He had the originals, though. Those originals, they had been through a scrubbing program or something that changed them. But hey, they didn't put them on the actual case. So can't talk about that, can you? I mean, that is messed up. Now, the way that she tries to shut down this point is by saying that Brian Neumeister, he can't really tell you about the authenticity of these photographs, which is funny because that's exactly what he's saying. He can't tell you about it. She can't tell you about it. No one can because they took photos of photos, which that in and of itself is a huge problem because they're trying to hide the actual evidence. Quote, separately, AH alleged that Brian Neumeister cannot opine as to the authenticity of the photos. It is unclear what AH's point is, as she does not state anything further on that point. Brian Neumeister's testimony is that no one can opine as to the authenticity of those photographs. No one. Not her legal, not her experts, and on. Again, that in and of itself is highly relevant and another very telling opinion as to the legitimacy of her photographs and of the data that's attached. And we saw that become a huge problem for AH too, when you had photographs that were the exact same photograph. They had the exact same metadata attached because she was taking pictures of pictures. That's how she did that. She got caught. It was pointed out to the jury anyhow, but she shut down an expert from talking about that. Oh man, I mean, that says so much. Now, he brought up the idea of duplicates too, and she thought she could dance around this in the courtroom. She got caught though. I thought that was amazing. She got caught. The jury got to see it. They got to see her expert bumble around the idea. Two pictures, they are exactly the same, and yet they're not, right? Well, Neumeister says this is visually doctoring. They may turn over 5 photographs that appear the same, but they all have different metadata. Now, when you look at those, no one can tell you what the original photograph is. It could be in that group of 5. It might not be. So it's impossible to compare each of these photographs, which in turn makes it impossible to tell how it's been visually altered. She turns over a bunch of stuff. We have duplicate after duplicate. What's the original? Remember, all of this stuff was filed under seal too, hidden from the public, hidden from the jury. They messed it up anyhow, which is amazing. But this proves that they were faking evidence. But anyway, let me hear what you have to say about this. And as always, I appreciate you. You make this channel work. Thank you. Can't say that enough. Thank you. If you want to help out the channel in different ways, links are in the description. But you being here, that's the biggest help of all. So thank you. Appreciate you. Gonna end here. Thank you again. See you soon.